Guys.com segment brought to you by Big Dog TV and Internet. Zephyrs, printing and designing in printed ink on the Ped Mall. The Ox Yoke Inn, Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. Siddler's LED Supplies. Sorry, guys.
Hello.
GT Car Company at Supple Siding and Remodeling. Mike's Lock and E-Keys for cars. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, Steve Anderson, and Premier Automotive in North Liberty. Hit a deer, call Premier. The administration may ask for an extension to reunite the families because they don't know
And they look like sisters, don't they?
what they're doing.
They look a little bit. They do.
Bit. Yeah, so that's breaking news that the administration's thinking of asking for an extension on the judge's deadline. We are now not only streaming video and audio, and will continue to do so on YouTube. Sometime next week we'll go to YouTube. But we are also streaming audio only for your phone, pad, or tablet on your commute on the TuneIn app. So go to TuneIn. You'll be able to go to our website next week and click on the speaker and hear it. It won't go to Ustream anymore, but you'll be able to hear it on the website. You can also download the TuneIn app now on your phone, your pad, your tablet, and search KCJJ. Make us a favorite, and then you'll always be in touch with us. We're only going to video stream, video and audio stream our live shows here like this one that you've grown to know and love. But we will, all the sports, the high school games, Lex and Terry, Michael Mara, 24 hours will stream on the TuneIn app.
Yeah, or you can go to 1630
Or you can
and listen on your radio.
You can listen on the radio.
Yeah.
There's many ways to get us. You can ask your smart speaker, like your Echo, Alexa, enable TuneIn. You got to ask that once if you have, and then say Alexa, KCJJ, and KCJJ will pop up.
Coolness.
So,
Oh, that just killed 5 minutes.
yeah, well, we've
Just saying.
got an investment. I got to plug the investment.
Multiple
Multiple,
media
yes.
platforms.
Yeah.
That's basically
Yes.
what you guys are about.
Yeah, that's what we're about.
No boundaries.
No, we have no boundaries.
No limits.
Yeah, except for financial.
Go
And-
big or go home.
Go big. Is that your motto, Tom?
Yeah, go big or go home.
Now, for the big dogs,
Yeah. Big Dog Satellite.
Big Dog Satellite, they
Yeah,
should
Big
be
Dog TV
go big
and
or go
Internet.
home.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they?
That's
Yeah,
actually
you
not
give-
bad.
Yeah, you give that to them.
Yeah, it's yours. Go big dog or go
So
home.
he would.
Hey, just so you know, I have no guests today. This is just we're on our
So
own.
this is it?
We're on our own. We are on our own today. You know, maybe Hunter could maybe walk in and be a guest. Tommy drops in occasionally. You know, but we're on our own. It's July. What is today? July 6th.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Bill Haley's birthday. Maybe you could play Rock Around the Clock.
Maybe not.
Oh, you making a Bill Haley statement? You don't like him? You
No,
like,
it's
Not so much.
very
What about-
well.
what
I
do you
mean, I
think of Bill
don't
Haley?
hate him.
do you hate Bill Haley?
No. It's just
One of the last appearances he made was in Dubuque.
He died sad.
Yeah.
Well, not that anyone died. Hey, I'm dying.
Hey, I'm dying.
Hey, this is great. It's over. This is the best thing ever, and I'm dying young. It's even better. No, I didn't mean it that way. See, we don't need a
Why
guest
did
shooter.
we got to focus on, but first, why did he die sad?
Because if I remember in my rock and roll misery book that there was just, I think I don't know, some things that started to happen. Google him while we have this really good call.
Hello.
All right. Firebird, Camaro, or Trans Am?
Ooh,
uh,
Firebird. No,
I'll-
wait. What did Rockford drive? Camaro.
I'll go Camaro.
Camaro.
Glad we answered that.
That went places.
Yeah, that was important.
But those are three, right when they're all very obviously similar.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Rockford drove a Camaro, didn't he? I thought
Yeah, he drove a Camaro, and I've got this that there is a Mr. Donut in Shakopee, Minnesota.
Ah,
Oh, that's
I have been to Shakopee, Minnesota
Yeah.
many times, actually.
it's on the way to Minneapolis, isn't
Yes. Uh-huh.
it?
Yeah.
I heard you guys talk. I remember Mr. Donut. I used to love their chocolate glaze with peanuts on them.
Yeah.
They were really good. You eat like 4 of those, and then you're just ill. You know? Donuts could
I
turn.
just like any business, any food business that demands respect, that puts a Mr.
True.
You know.
Did anyone ever start a
Or
Mrs.
Mrs.
Donut?
No, but there's Mrs. Fields.
Why isn't there a Mrs. Donut? I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Maybe he was gay.
That's true.
Yeah, Mr. Donut and Mr. Donut.
Jesus.
Let's see, what other
There's
Mr.
all of the donut.
There was a Mr. Quick.
Yeah, Mr. Quick.
He demanded
Wasn't
respect.
there a song called Mr. Wendell?
Yeah, Mr. Wendell.
like-
the development.
I like that
I
song.
like that too.
I
He
like that
hates it.
song.
Mr. Businessman by Ray Stevens.
You hate that.
You
song,
hated
Mr.
Mr.
No, I
Wendell?
like Mr. Businessman.
How about
No,
Mr.
but
Wendell?
you hate Mr. Wendell.
I don't know Mr. Wendell.
Yeah,
You'd know it if you heard it. Well,
Who did
patience.
Mr. Wendell?
Did we just Arrested Development?
Oh.
Did we just disconnect that person, or
No,
did they say enough?
They
They said.
I guess their humor wasn't as funny as they thought.
I think they said these guys ain't worth waiting for.
That
I'll
could
call
be
them,
too.
but I ain't waiting. Boy, you got that fast. This was just a happy song when it came out.
yeah, but it's got a good message.
Yeah, I can't remember. What is it? Don't mess with Mr. Wendell?
No, Mr. Wendell was homeless, but he still could impart wisdom.
Okay. No, you've heard this?
Not yet.
Here, have $1. In fact, no, brother man. Here,
No.
have 2.
You, when it does a
$2
chorus, you will have
means
heard
a
it, I
snack
think.
for me, but it means a big deal to you.
This was big, what, 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, about that.
If you do beautiful, heaven
They've got a lot of play.
1993.
Now, did you play it much here?
Yeah.
No, you weren't here yet.
No, but I played it when I came. I came in 94. It was in 93.
And you were playing that. It was
So
big.
this is 25 years old.
Yeah.
Is it that old, really?
Yeah, 93.
I don't think of 93 as being 25 years old.
Yeah, I know.
That's just
See, I wouldn't have liked this ever.
I know. You told me every time I
Yeah.
played it.
This or Jim Morrison?
Jim Morris.
Imagine Jim Morrison doing this song.
No, that song sucks.
Then he throw it up.
Screw you, Mr. Wendell.
Yeah, I'll throw up on your shoes.
And I ain't showering.
That song's a great song.
Sucks.
Happy
Oh,
song. It's anything with
yeah.
reggae and rap,
No,
you're
he
not going
doesn't
there.
like reggae. He doesn't like rap, and he doesn't like particularly bouncy songs.
I don't like most.
particularly, huh?
I don't like most rap. Almost, I like a lot of reggae. Bouncy, it just depends on what bouncy is. I mean, bouncy can be good or bad.
Yeah, typically bouncy, and I don't see eye to eye. But
Now, what do you associate with bouncy?
okay, for instance, "Break My Stride" is bouncy.
That's
Just sucks.
and we built this city. That's got a little bounce to it.
Yeah, I don't hate that song as much as some people do.
Heard it from a friend by REO. That's got.
Oh, that's great. Heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another.
So what
You
is
were
that?
Messing
We're
around.
going 3 stages there before
Yeah.
we got the. All right, just a lot of gossip about nothing. REO Speedwagon.
They rocked out pretty good at the beginning.
Yeah, they did. They were kind. They
Riding
kind
the
of.
Storm Out.
Yeah, they were sort of like Journey, but then they had to make money, so they had to make some top 40 hits, and they both were really good at that.
Yeah.
And
they
like
were.
Journey did "Wheel in the Sky," which is a great
song.
Yeah.
There's 4 or 5 songs by Journey I really like. "Wheel of the Sky," "Lights," that's a good song by
Uh-huh.
Journey, and a few other ones. And yeah,
I mean, I got tired of "Don't Stop Believing," and I'm still tired of it. But that's a good song.
yeah.
I'm just tired of it.
They lost me there. "Faithfully," I'm just like, God. I mean, I cried, but just out of pain, not because I was. When I first heard that song, I'm like, but a lot of people loved it. You know, I remember people.
liked it fine.
Lighters and just
I
crying
just-
to "Faithfully."
That's what I'm going for when I play this stuff. I'm going for people with lighters.
Yeah. There you go. And they're not barbecue. They just using the.
Yeah, they're not barbecuing.
Did you see somebody put on Twitter a video of Los Angeles on July 4th? And it was just fireworks everywhere.
Yeah.
It looked like Baghdad. It really was weird. Unless with Twitter, hell, it could have been a fake, but I don't think it was. I think just showed a bunch of illegal and legal fireworks all going off at the same time.
I gotta commend because there were we had fireworks all over Broadway, all over the southeast side, and
And then
they
what
didn't
happened on
arrest that many people at
I mean,
all.
what's the
I mean,
point?
no,
I mean,
and it was fine. I mean,
As long as they don't hurt other people, it's bad enough
Yeah.
if you hurt yourself. But I'm one of those fireworks. I'm kind of like my thoughts the same way with weed. I mean, it's well, no, I mean it's just
Yeah,
it
well-
just seems like it's a lot more work to make it
Yeah, yeah, I
criminalize
agree.
it than what you get. It's just not worth it anymore. You know, I mean,
no,
yes.
it's ridiculous, and too many people use it. They're ignoring the law.
Well, I love the people like
and
when
if enough people ignore the law, maybe it should not be a
Well,
law.
I love the people though. If you debate with them about
I
well,
don't
what
know.
do you think? Meth should be illegal? No,
It
there's
ain't got
No.
It's got nothing to do with it. There's a big jump from and I think and hopefully
one
everyone-
thing grows, and one thing is made of battery acid and drain cleaner.
Well, I also don't agree with huffing paint. You know, I mean,
No.
I just
Why?
but it's just funny though. That's what a lot of people right away. That'll
Yeah.
be their defense. Oh, gateway.
Well,
Meanwhile,
it
they got
isn't.
a double shot of whiskey in their hand while they're arguing with me.
Yeah.
It's fine. All right, back to the Hawks. Big
We
day.
haven't done Hawks
No,
yet.
we really haven't. We don't
No.
need the Hawks, do we, Captain?
yeah, we really do.
Yeah, we do actually. We need the Hawks, I think, more than the Hawks need us.
Oh, yeah.
Without question.
I think we're all in
Now,
agreement.
you had
there.
a good day yesterday. I think it was yesterday with the videos.
Yeah, we had I appreciate Matt Weitzel for giving me a heads up. They had made some players available yesterday afternoon, 6 of them to be exact, and shot videos of all 6. And then I wrote about Wieskamp. I mean, perfect Twitter fodder. I tweeted because Jordan told us that for their first open gym this summer, scrimmaging, that Wieskamp went down on a fast break and dunked it right over Tyler Cook. And Jordan's like, whoa, this guy's for real. I mean, so you tweet something like that, and of course it becomes bigger than life. That's all everybody talks about. I mean, Wieskamp's going to help him. We know that, and we talked to him yesterday. He was pretty candid about it. He says he's got to get stronger, and he says it's not easy, and it's not going to be. He's never had to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
But like he also said, he's no longer being. That's what I wrote about. In practice now, scrimmage, he's got one guy guarding him because he's.
That's got to be
He's-
liberating
and it's
for
gonna
him.
it's going to be that way. And now, if he averages 20 points going into Big Ten play, he may draw some double teams. But with Jordan Bohannon and Tyler Cook and them, Joe Wieskamp's going to draw single defenders. He says it's been since his freshman year in high school.
Well, and he also said, I heard that he knows that the players guarding him, yes, only one, but they're going to be bigger and faster.
Bigger and stronger and athletic. Yeah, they're Division I basketball
Yeah.
players. That'll be a big difference. But he's definitely going to help. And he said all the right things yesterday. And the other thing I thought was interesting, Nicholas Bear brought it up and Tyler Cook both brought it up, unsolicited on both the freshmen, how smart they are and how quick they're catching on to everything. That helps because if you don't have to think and you can just react to everything, that makes a big difference. And it sounds like both of them understand the concepts, and because more than one player brought that up, and I found that to be pretty interesting. And they all talked about the defense. Now, Jordan Bohannon did say it's not like they're just nonstop defense. I mean, you can only do so much, but I think from after what they went through last year, they've got things to work on now specifically because they know where they're really bad. I mean, they know where they really struggled, and so there's a lot of Jordan's. It just sounds like they're approaching defense smarter. They're just taking more of a. He says they're connected more. They're communicating more. They're watching what they did wrong last year and trying to correct it on the court. And so it's a lot of that type of stuff. I don't think it's just for 3 hours, Fran saying, guard that guy
Yeah,
until he
yeah,
drops.
yeah.
I mean, you can't do that. It's
No.
more to it than that. They got to be better connected as a unit. Jordan Bohannon's never going to be a breakdown defensive point guard.
No.
He needs the guys around him all connected. They need to. I mean, as bad as they were at defending their man one-on-one, they were horrible at help defense.
Just everything that ended in defense at
They were just
Iowa
bad.
was bad.
I mean, their help defense, I'm like, okay, you need to help then, not then. And they just always seemed a step slow or a step too soon or just never in sync. So they're working on that kind of stuff. They're all pushing the strength thing. But that was what's so funny is kind of ironic. We're talking about everybody's getting stronger, and then Cordell Pemsel walks in and he's
a
rail.
wraith.
I mean, I couldn't believe how skinny he
I know.
was. I mean, he's one of the skinnier guys on the team now. He's 30 pounds lighter than when he got here. Now he says, and he knows it, he wants to expand his game on defense, which I found kind of interesting. He wants to be able to guard multiple players because that's how he's going to play more.
That's right.
They got enough offense stuff right now with Cook and Nungy and Garza and Bohannon and Moss and Pemsel. They need guys to distinguish themselves on defense to get minutes, and I think that's part of what's happening right now. That's what I think always before with Fran. Yes, you got to play defense, but the main thing Fran was looking for was scores. I think now Fran's going to give defensive guys more of a chance, and Pemsl sees that as a chance maybe to get in there with Tyler Cook and Garza at the same time if he can guard shooting guards and small forwards. And as skinny as he is now, I was like, wow, he looks really good. So yeah, it was good kind of getting a summer update, and I think part of the reason Iowa did that, we don't have the primetime league. So we don't really get these guys, and they all voiced their disappointment. Nicholas Bear sent out a shout-out to Randy Larson. I thought that was really neat.
I thought that was real nice.
Just thanking him for 31 years, and I mean, I think these guys miss it, but I think they also appreciate maybe. I mean, it was time-consuming, especially when they had to go to Waterloo. I mean, I think it gives them a little more freedom, kind of like the same with the media. We've got more time now, but no, it was good just getting a midsummer update from these guys. And
It was, and it was good to watch them too. To feel that.
oh yeah, I thought no, because we didn't get into practice.
No, to watch your video.
Oh yeah, for a second there, I was like, God, did I miss something?
No.
Because we basically, it was funny the way they did it. We stood outside in the kind of what do you call before the basketball, what do you call that area in there? Is that
Foyer.
an atrium, foyer?
Yeah.
Foyer. There you go. What's an atrium? Why did I say atrium?
It's open.
Okay,
but
so it is something to do with the
not
structure.
necessarily in the front of the building.
It's not like a new planet or anything.
No,
I'm
no.
not, okay,
No.
for a second there, I was really
No.
confused. But then they would just bring out players one by
Or
one.
somebody that you see that's really hot looking.
An atrium?
Yeah, you go, hey, trim.
Wow.
Wow.
That should have stayed in your head.
Well, excuse me.
yeah,
Well, excuse me.
that wasn't.
Sorry, I
good.
and the Jefferson Starship can't live up to your.
He liked Jefferson Starship.
Hey, well, I thought Mickey Thomas was a good singer.
How about the era, though, when it was that other guy, Marty Ballin?
Marty Ballin.
His voice was
I hated.
creepy.
I hated that.
Hello.
An atrium is where you go to get cash.
That's right. I forgot. You're right. And, he is-
Atrium, yeah, where's the atrium? Hey, I know you guys like it now that I'm not calling as much, and you're getting a lot more calls from Jeff. But I wonder if Jeff could give us that Peoria Betty and the dog story again.
No, we're not doing that. We lost the client.
Yeah, we did.
I'm not sure what's going on
I would
there,
say
but
Jeff has changed a lot over the years, gone
Yeah.
from Peoria Betty to
Yeah.
talking about popcorn.
how about that for a rock band name, Peoria Betty?
Yeah. Oh, Peoria Betty,
Tell
bam a lamb.
Tell them about the
We're going to lose.
sales meeting during the break.
I was going to say, we probably don't want to go on the air with this, do we?
No.
No, not at all.
All right.
Okay, we'll take a break. Hi.
Hello, fellas. How we doing?
Hi, Corey. How you doing? It's Corey Urian from Wells Fargo Advisors with the markets.
Thanks, guys. Stocks finished higher on Thursday. The Dow climbed 181 points to 24,356. The S&P 500 added 23 points to 2736, and the Nasdaq gained 83 points to 7586. The major averages advanced Thursday despite lingering trade concerns on the data front. A final reading of June services sector activity from ISM increased to 59.1 from the prior reading of 58.6. Separate updates on the unemployment market revealed initial jobless claims climbed more than anticipated in the prior week, while private payrolls increased less than consensus expectations in June. In central bank news, the Federal Reserve released its minutes for its most recent policy meeting and stated plans to continue the gradual rate hike path. 10 out of the 11 S&P 500 sectors finished the session higher. Technology shares were up the most as Intel climbed 2.6% to $50.75. NVIDIA added 2.5% to $242.73. And healthcare and consumer staple groups also provided a market tailwind as Pfizer advanced 1.5% to $36.88, and Procter & Gamble gained 1.7% to $79.22. The energy group was the lone sector in negative territory in conjunction with lower oil prices. Stocks are mixed this morning. The Dow is currently off 4 points to 24,352. The S&P 500 is up 8 to 2745, and the Nasdaq is up 39 to 7626. The major averages are fluctuating between small gains and losses, and investors assess the latest economic and trade updates. This morning, the United States triggered a 25% tariff on $34 billion of Chinese imports, and Beijing announced its own tit-for-tat tariffs on U.S. goods. On the data front, non-farm payrolls increased 213,000 in June, well above consensus estimates of 195,000 gain. Average hourly earnings advanced 2.7% year over year in June, just below the projected 2.8% gain, while the unemployment rate climbed to 4% from the prior reading of 3.8%. A separate update from the Commerce Department revealed the U.S. trade deficit tightened to the smallest gap since 2016 to $43.1 billion in May, compared to a $46.2 billion in April. 7 out of the 11 S&P 500 sectors are in positive territory in early trading. Healthcare stocks are leading gains, with Biogen surging 18.9% to $358.50 after the biotech firm reported positive clinical trials with its key Alzheimer's drug. Industrial shares are notable decliners as trade concerns weigh on the sector. Treasuries are mostly higher, with the yield on the benchmark 10-year note down 1 basis point to yield 2.82%. In commodities, WTI crude is falling 0.5% to $72.60 a barrel, and gold is down 0.2% to $1,256 an ounce despite a weaker dollar. Life has a way of throwing unexpected events and new opportunities our way. When your life goals change with time or fluctuating market conditions throw your plan off course, Wells Fargo Advisors investment planning process offers the flexibility to make the adjustments you need to live the one life you have the best way you can. When life happens, we can help. In Coralville or Iowa City, call Daryl Courtney, Adam Haleska, or Corey Urian at 319-338-3799. That's 319-338-3799. You can also reach us toll-free at 866-217-2369, or stop by the office and see us at 501 12th Avenue, Suite 21 in Coralville. This is Corey Urian, a financial advisor with Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
1630 KCJJ.com, presented worldwide by Lucky's Market at Iowa City Marketplace on Sycamore.
With a look at your forecast, I'm meteorologist Ashley O'Connor. Plenty of sunshine today with breezy northeast winds. High temps this afternoon will reach the low 80s. Mainly clear skies this evening with low temps tonight in the mid to upper 50s. Beautiful weather continues into this weekend. We'll have plenty of sun tomorrow with highs in the lower 80s. Lots of sun on Sunday, but a tad warmer with highs in the mid 80s. Even warmer as we look towards the beginning of next week with highs in the upper 80s. That's weather on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Currently, it's 74.
Weather brought to you by the Westport Touchless Auto Washes at Walmart in Iowa City and Coralville's Hy-Vee.
Did not hear her say 90s. That's nice.
No.
But
I'll say walking Wapsie this morning was great.
I took my dog.
oh yeah, no, just opening up the garage door this morning and feeling
Cool air.
Yeah.
I took my dog yesterday about 10:15, and it was a mistake. And for some reason, he went longer. We went about 1.5 miles, and by the end, he was spent. But I'd like to thank, I assume it's the dog's owner. When we were walking in the park there right off of Friendship. What is that? What's the name of that park? I go by it. Brown City, or
I
you
know
know the
what
park
you're
I'm
talking
talking about.
about,
It
yes.
splits on both sides of Friendship splits it right down the middle. It goes to Court Avenue, and then it's got. But I was walking my dog, and all of a sudden I noticed a guy coming up with a Mastiff, a big old freaking Mastiff. And at first he wasn't paying, and my dog does not pay attention. I just couldn't care less about other dogs. But as we get closer, I could tell this Mastiff's getting a little locked in. Hey, there's a dog there. And meanwhile, my dog just just didn't. And this guy's holding. I'm like, "How you doing?" He says, "Hey, how you doing?" And then by the time we got parallel, this Mastiff is in a lather, just worked up. And there was about a 2-second period where this guy was losing control of this dog, and it was in a full. The leash was stretched, and it was just wanting Lakota something fierce. And for a couple seconds, I'm like, "Oh my God, it's going to pull him." And luckily, he got back the grip, pulled the dog back, and he did something to make it cry, which was fine. And then it stopped. He did something as the owner, but I would not have been able to do anything had that Mastiff gotten loose. And Lakota, 5 years ago, Lakota would have just ran away. The thing couldn't have caught it because he was. But now Lakota can't move. And Buddy would have went into the fetal and just said, "Kill me." But it was scary.
The
it
Mastiff was it going to?
Oh, it was
attack
just
the dog,
yes,
or?
it was full attack mode. It was not. It was full attack mode. I've had that one other time when a little girl was walking a pit bull, and finally I just took off with my dog because she was being dragged on the ground by this pit bull, and this pit bull I wanted to help the girl, but I couldn't because if she let go of that leash, my dog's dead. And I've had 2 or 3 episodes like that. There was one where this lady was walking 2 dogs, 2 like cattle type dogs.
Wow.
And they literally, when they saw my dog across the street, they pulled her down and drug her across Arbor Drive. Literally, she was
Wow.
crying at the end, and I'm like, ma'am, I don't know what to do. I go, but I got to get out of here. Your dogs. She never let go of the leash, bless her heart, but those dogs literally drug her across my street. I just watched her being pulled because meanwhile, Lakota's not even paying attention to these dogs. Couldn't care less.
See, Lily will want to sniff the dog's butt.
See, now Lakota doesn't do any of that crap.
Yeah.
Lily sounds like
But
a freak.
that's about
Buddy
it.
would sit there and bark and bark and bark and bark and bark, and then when the dogs came up to Buddy, he would leave and want nothing to do with them. Lakota, now what would Wapsie do in that situation?
Oh, Wapsie strains to get over to the other dog.
Okay, see,
Always.
Lakota's not like, he's never been like that. Most dogs are like Wapsie.
Yeah.
My dog's a little weird. He doesn't,
Barry never was like that. Barry
Didn't even want to be around. I remember Barry wouldn't let John and I pet him.
Oh, Wapsie just loses her MF in mind.
That's kind of how Buddy was, but
See-
once the connection's made, Buddy would be fine then. He wouldn't
Yeah.
go crazy.
Yeah, Lily sometimes doesn't care and will ignore it, and sometimes, she wants to. She really likes sniffing butt. And other than
Sounds like
that,
the
other than
person you
that,
were talking.
she's
Sounds like that person you were talking about.
Well, Wapsie goes straight for the crotch. Whenever she meets somebody, straight for the crotch.
Sounds like that person you were talking about.
no. See, Lily doesn't. Lily's around people is.
Lily's a lady.
Yeah.
But no, I'm telling you, Lakota. There'll be times where I know a dog's really friendly and wants to.
Yeah.
Lakota will. I'll have to like push him, and then he'll look at me like, "You're forcing this. I don't want this. I don't need this." He will make no reaction, and the dog will try to, and then he just.
So Lakota doesn't pay any attention.
No attention to other dogs.
Never acknowledges.
No, hardly ever acknowledges.
So
now,
Lakota is
I know where they're going.
Is the Merv
oh,
of
yeah.
dogs.
I thought you were going 1600 with that somehow.
No. why
No,
would I
yeah,
do-
Lakota. Well, Murph only
They're
did that.
not ignoring the phone calls. The phone calls aren't coming in.
Murph only did that to me. He didn't ignore you guys, did he?
Yes.
Oh, he could care less.
Yeah. What I said to him, we had a school board meeting last night. He goes,
I'm here for
"Yeah,
sports.
I'm not that interested in that." Well, that's what you were hired to.
Well, that's what's kind of weird, though. Why wouldn't you right then threaten to can him? I mean, that.
Well, and then we were downtown doing a remote for the downtown district.
And wasn't he ripping your sponsor?
He was ripping
That's the best.
parking.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, he kept coming back to it.
Yeah, he wouldn't leave it. He wouldn't drop it. And I was texting him.
Shut.
Yeah.
Those are one of
up.
those things. What's the point in complaining about something that is what it is? You know? I mean, and
Well, but the other thing is, honestly, when I go downtown, I don't have trouble parking.
Well, and there's so many freaking ramps.
but Murph wants to obviously be able to just go parallel park at 7 o'clock in front of the restaurant he wants to eat in, and that's not life.
And then he
in
wants-
any college town.
No.
And then he wants an announcement. Hey, Ryan Murphy's coming in.
Yeah.
He didn't just ignore you.
Okay.
Hi, Jim.
You never worked with Murph, did you?
Just a little bit. I remember we were getting ready to come out here, and he really bothered the hell out of you. And he goes, "Man, we're moving to Southeast Missouri."
Yeah. Yeah.
You hated that.
Yeah. Yeah, I said, if you don't want to go, I said, we're moving. Yeah, we
Yeah,
lost.
do what Jenny Collins did. She just said, "No, I don't want to go," and she didn't go.
Yeah.
So, that's Murph. That's a.
Well, Jenny came out here.
No.
Yes, she did.
She worked out here?
Yeah.
But just
For a while.
didn't like the drive.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, to each his own. That's what I say. You're still moving forward. You're grinding. You're a grind.
Well,
I
You're a
never-
radio grinder.
I never had anybody leave. I mean, I've been at other stations that have moved. We moved KFMH 30 miles.
I will say, though, my best Murph memory, though, is when his dad was there, and he never introduced me. His dad had to introduce himself about halftime of our game.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, "Murph, are you going to let our listeners know that your dad's come in from Boston?" And he goes, "This ain't Facebook, Hardy. We're here to call a game." That's what he said on the air. And I just...
Wow.
And I just remember I was laughing and I had mixed emotions on that one. You know, I'm like, you little turd. It was so funny, but it was kind of maddening at the same time. And he never did introduce his dad.
Well, he never liked introducing you either.
No, I know.
I said to him, we got the most recognizable guy in the freaking community.
And that's when he said, thanks, Steve. I'm glad you appreciate that with me. You know, that's probably what he thought when you said that, don't you think?
Yeah.
I bet he did think that.
I said, I want you to introduce him. And I want you to introduce him right off. And I said it just like that.
And he still never did.
Yeah. No, he went on that night.
See, Richard's got a routine. Richard does the intro.
Yeah.
Where we get the sponsors in, he sets the page, then we do a 2-minute break, then we come back, and then leading into that 2 minute, he will introduce me and say, okay, now I'm going to be talking to somebody.
And that's perfect.
He does it every time that
Yeah.
way. But with Murph, I mean, it was...
When we had the meeting with you...
I remember that, and Richard, that was one of the strangest days. I saw
Rich-
one career end and another just...
Begin instantly.
That was just weird. None of you guys knew that was happening either, right?
No.
No. He just walked in.
But
and
you were looking for an out.
He walked in, and I looked up in the sky to the sky and said, "Thank you, Lord."
Because you were looking for an out.
Oh,
Things
yes.
things were not...
Yeah.
Things were not good.
Things were not good at that time.
No, things were heading south in a
Well,
hurry.
it was the Thanksgiving that brought it to a head, with me, anyway, is because he would read a sentence in a news story, and he'd expect me to comment on it, and I don't do that. I mean, in most of the news stories,
What do you mean he would read a...
He would read, today, or police were called to a fire today, and then he'd stop, and he'd look at me. And I finally said,
he was
I
doing
said,
the
what
news
do
on the
you
air?
want?
Yeah.
Well, I want you to comment on it. I said, it was a fire. What am I supposed to say? And he kept doing it. And after like 4 minutes of him doing it, it's Thanksgiving, keep in mind. I said, you know, if I ever have to work with you again, I will kill you.
I do remember
before
that.
happens.
I remember
and it
hearing
made me look really bad.
I remember hearing
I
about
mean,
that.
it's on Thanksgiving.
He threatened to kill him.
Yes, and I meant it.
Yes.
Do you understand that I meant it?
But we got through that. We all got through that.
Yeah,
and
and
he's back
did.
home in Florida doing...
Yeah.
I think
and
he's
doing play-by-play.
He's doing great.
doing something. And more power to him.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
I don't want
Just
any,
was not a good fit.
I don't want
He
any
sure
violence.
wasn't.
This was not a good fit.
I just didn't want to kill him.
He'd come in on Sunday morning, he'd sleep on that couch. It just pissed Billy
Yeah.
off.
I would love to have seen Murph interview Hamilton. Do you
Well,
imagine that?
He said,
Yeah.
he said, what are you doing? And Murph goes,
Well, I'm tired.
We're all tired. Yeah, Billy was.
Not on my watch.
Yeah.
I don't think Murph even liked music, did he?
He liked Hootie and the Blowfish.
Did he? Okay.
That was it?
That was it. And he'd come in here and look over my shoulder and go, play some Hootie.
Remember
I
when?
said, I'm not playing any.
Remember when he wanted Feeney's seat? He'd sit over during sports buddies. He'd lurk over Feeney's shoulder, and I think he was waiting for one of those Russian spies to come in and put.
He would lurk
Yeah.
out in the hallway when we were doing any sports stuff.
Or we had a meeting. I mean, when we were having a meeting with him.
He'd lurk.
Or a client. And he'd keep walking back and forth.
Yeah.
And I said, what are you
He wanted on. He wanted on that morning show. He wanted.
He wanted on the morning show.
He did. Could you have imagined that?
No, he would have been a pile of goo. I would have killed him.
I don't think you would have gotten much in. I don't know if he would have even.
I couldn't work with him. I mean, that was maybe I honest to God thought to myself after that, it's Thanksgiving, and I just threatened to kill somebody.
And meant it.
And meant it. And I said, this makes me, I worry about how I look.
Then you went home though, and you had that turkey, and you were fine.
No.
You weren't fine.
No, I didn't have that turkey. We had turducken,
Oh,
and we got
ooh.
it from that stinking Augusta restaurant that was here.
Turducken's
and it was
hit or
the
miss.
worst. It was the worst Thanksgiving of my life.
I've had stories.
They
of
ruined
bad.
Thanksgiving.
Seems like turducken. There's no in between. It's either
and
really
it
good.
still pisses
Well, didn't
me
Hunter
off.
Hunter?
Yeah.
Didn't you have some of that?
Yes, I did.
How was it?
That was not as advertised.
Okay, so what do you got? You got turkey and you got chicken.
Here's what it was.
What is turducken?
It was it's
Chicken?
supposed to be turkey with a duck and chicken inside.
Okay.
Okay. This was a chicken patty like you would get at a fast food restaurant. It was a chicken patty and some duck, but not a lot.
So there
of
just
duck.
wasn't enough of anything.
And a hollowed out turkey. Oh, there was plenty.
Was it
of,
overcooked?
There was plenty
Stuffing.
of cornbread stuffing.
Which is okay, but you don't.
Oh
want
no, it sucks.
I don't mind cornbread stuffing
I like
as a side
cornbread.
dish.
But it was
I like
a side dish.
this was the whole thing. Was
No, I know
filled
what you
with-
mean. I like it to
And it was
compliment my meat.
$140.
Wow.
$140.
Well,
freaking
why
dollars.
was it $140?
I don't know.
And didn't you ask?
I thought this was going to be a major dinner. I thought I got a dinner. I thought it was.
So what did you get for $140? Just one?
I got a hollowed out turkey with a chicken patty.
Why would it be
Some
$140?
piece because they screwed me. It was a ripoff.
I would think something like that would cost like $50-$60, wouldn't you?
Or 30. I was thinking 30 or 40.
Okay, yeah, more like 30, 140.
$140.
That's just unheard of.
That's ridiculous.
That's that first red flag that something may not be right.
Well, I didn't know. I never got a pre-made freaking turducken before, nor will I ever get one again.
Oh, I would think not.
Hello.
Especially for $140.
What if they would have been an advertiser?
Weren't they?
They were.
Yeah, they were an advertiser.
That's why he got it.
Yeah, and they weren't an advertiser because I gave a summation.
So they quit advertising after you ripped them on the air? Oh,
Well, they went out of
No, they
Oh,
went out of business.
They went out of business.
They went out of business, but they were.
No, you didn't mention their name on the air
because they were
when
an
they
adver-
were in business. No.
No,
Which I can understand that.
no, but they ruined Thanksgiving, and they knew.
So was that $140 you paid
You know,
cash
some
out of your?
things mean a lot to me, and Thanksgiving means a lot to me. I don't know why, but I don't know why.
So did you pay that out of your pocket, or was that one of your?
No, that was I paid it out of my pocket.
Okay, yeah, that would suck. But I just you'd think somebody around you would have been. Gee, Steve, that seems a little expensive.
They
for turducken."
ruined Thanksgiving.
What did Jan think anything about when you
She
said?
thought it was crap.
Well, no, but what you think of the price leading into it? That's what.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just.
Huh?
I would have walked in. I would have.
Did you hear him?
Yeah, but I don't remember.
Hi, Tom. You order turducken. You walk in there,
Listen,
they tell you 140
if I'm
bucks.
gonna
I
have-
wouldn't order turducken to begin
But if you
with.
did and you didn't know the price and they told you 140, what would
I
you say?
wouldn't buy it.
I wouldn't buy it either.
If I am going to get, I thought it was a big Thanksgiving dinner there with all the.
I mean, like the bread garden does.
Yes.
And I mean, it was about that price, maybe for 8 people.
Yeah.
But 8 people. But yeah, it was.
But a
turkey.
whole dinner.
Well,
with
hell, that's almost
just-
cheap.
Oh no, it was a great deal.
Yeah.
It's a great deal. We've done it twice now, and it's fantastic.
Each person throws in 20. I mean, yeah, that's so. If you want to do it that way, but
Yeah.
no, I'm just stunned that turducken. No wonder they're out of business. I mean, now it'd be different if the stuff was incredible, but I still would have said, "Wow, for that price, I hope it was."
Well, if you
tasteful."
get all, I thought it was with all
Side
the
dishes,
fixings
no, that
and,
no, that-
everything.
I'm just amazed that turducken would be 140. I've had it once, and I just thought it was too much. It was just too busy, too greasy.
Yeah, I don't
just
get
too
it.
much going on. I just don't understand. I like all three of the things separate. Not huge duck fin.
They ruined Thanksgiving.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Did you go out to like McDonald's and get a quarter pounder?
I think we did go to McDonald's
For $140?
I think we did go to McDonald's that night because we did. It was dry.
Well, didn't you? Hunter came over and ate with you, didn't
Hunter
he?
came over and ate.
So did you get full, Hunter? Did you have enough? Yeah, it was enough. All right.
You had a bunch of stuffing though, because that's all that
I
there
love
was.
stuffing.
Was the cornbread good? Yeah.
I like both kind. I do.
I do, too.
I could do.
I don't.
I like every stuffing, but I don't like the stuffing with apples and raisins.
I don't get
Yeah.
cornbread
No.
at all. It falls apart. And
I love cornbread.
I do too. Oh, Ann makes great cornbread.
Does she?
But,
Does
but
she-
it's not sweet.
Oh,
It's-
good. No, that's what I don't like. The kind with the sweet. In
No.
it. I like old fashioned kind that you dip in like beef stew and stuff.
Yes.
That's the kind of.
I like
Yes.
popcorn and I like corn on the cob.
How
And
about the
any
song
other
popcorn?
corn, I don't. I hate that.
I hated that song too.
But any other corn, I
You don't like corn tortillas?
well, yeah, but it doesn't end up corn.
Speaking of that, though, somebody reached out to me and told
I don't
me,
like. I
You
don't
get-
like a corn with the. What do they do? Creamed corn. I don't
Yeah.
like.
1968, I wasn't aware, was the year of really good, popular songs without words. You guys aware of that? Popcorn, Classical Gas, what's that? Da, 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 da,
Love is Blue.
There's 5 songs that came out.
Paul Marriott.
Yeah.
Or however you pronounce it.
1960.
Yeah, Paul Marriott.
Is that what it was?
Uh-huh.
Were you guys aware of that?
Well, and then probably Herb Alpert probably had something.
He played all 5, and I was like, wow, all 5 of these were in the same year? I thought one of them was, wouldn't have been Dueling Banjos.
Mm-mm.
No, it wouldn't have been The Exorcist either. Tubular Bills, I can't remember, but I was amazed at, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Sierra Leone, that was part of them. All 5, though, were very, very popular, and I was just surprised by that. I don't know. That has nothing to do with the Hawks.
No, that's odd, but true.
1968. What kind of year was that for the Hawks, Suter? Not a great year.
1968 wasn't that Eddie Podolak's team? Wasn't
but
it?
the team wasn't very good.
No, but he was a bright
He was
light.
there, and basketball under Ralph was starting to ignite.
coming on.
Was starting to ignite 50 years ago. Amazing, when you think about it.
68. Would that be?
That was the black boycott too, wasn't it? Remember when all the players boycotted with Dennis Green? I wrote about that. I remember.
Would that have been Sam Williams?
Sam was gone by then.
Was he?
No, Sam's last year was 67, 68.
Okay.
So, yeah. But no, I wrote about that black boycott, and I remember talking to Dennis Green. He was great. I remember interviewing him when I worked for the Press Citizen. He was proud to be a Hawk. He really was. I mean, I sometimes wish Dennis Green, he never coached a team I liked. I wished he would have. He coached the Vikings, and I hated the Vikings, and wasn't he Northwestern's coach?
Yeah.
Back then, he was before Gary Barnett.
Yes.
Yeah, so he didn't get him turned around. But I just enjoyed talking to him, and I thought he was sometimes an underrated coach. And rest in peace. I mean, we lost him way too early, Dennis Green.
Yeah, he was not.
I think he was like in his. I think he's not right about your guys' age, maybe a little bit old.
To me, like I'm gonna.
Well, no, right about your guys' age. I mean, because I think he was somewhere between 65 and 70, and
he unfortunately choked on some turducken, and
he could have choked on that turducken. It was dry.
Well, that would be the other thing. Dry turducken, that's not.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Why did you Murphy and that stinking Thanksgiving all in one?
Well, you know why? Because it's July 6th.
It just pissed me.
It's July. I'm trying to think if there's any. Oh, we talked to Isaiah Moss yesterday for the first time, and he's a pretty quiet kid. He didn't go visit any workout for anybody. He still says he got information that's valuable to him, and hey, more power to him. I mean, he did it. Now he just comes back and he says he's got to figure out a way to become more consistent. He says that's what he's working on, and all these things.
Well, and he's exactly right.
And all these things that we're seeing, or they're saying, we won't know until the season starts.
Yeah.
I mean, we just won't know. I mean, I don't know what to make of basketball right now. Like I said, my record right now for this team's anywhere from 8-10 to 10-8. Remember, they play.
Was it 20
from 8. My record's anywhere from 8-12 to about 8-12 would be the low point. 11-9, 12-8 would be my high point for Iowa
I think
this year.
that's probably about right.
I mean, neither one would get them in the tournament. I think to get in the NCAA tournament, I mean, they're going to have to. I mean, Nebraska didn't get in at 13-5, played a terrible non-conference schedule. Iowa's is a little better this year, but
part of it depends on who. If we get to 12 wins in the conference,
well, I think you got to worry.
Are.
The first thing you just got to worry about getting back and having a winning season.
Yes,
again. You got to take this one step at a time.
Absolutely.
There's a big step to go from where they left off last year to right back to the NCAA tournament, but I'm not sure how much time Fran has. I mean, Fran's not. I don't care. I think Athlon's going to come out and have Fran on the hot seat. I don't agree with that. They asked me. I told them I thought we were early.
Quit tapping the counter.
Oh,
it's giving me a headache.
Oh, I don't think Fran's on the hot seat right now.
No, I don't either.
But I do think he is on the verge if things don't.
If we have another year like last year, then he will be on the hot seat.
Well,
for
and what if
year.
they have a year like Indiana had last year, where they went 16-15? That's not going to really gain a lot of momentum either. I mean,
I don't know that would be hot seat material.
Well, I don't know if that put him on but the program would be in a serious funk.
Yes.
I mean, the only way they're going to rescue themselves from this funk they're in right now is a run in the NIT at worst. That's kind of
we got, and we've got some talent. The pieces need to fit together better, and they just need to play defense. I know that's cliche, but
that's basically where we're at. That's where we're at with this team, and we won't have any proof until we start seeing them play. I mean, they're going to always say the right stuff in these interviews. I mean, oh no, we're not working much on defense. I think we're going to suck again next year. I mean, they're not going to.
No,
they're all going to say the right stuff, and they're convinced that they're doing the right stuff. And the one thing that's different though is last year they didn't have last season as a bucket of cold water every day. I mean, when their mind starts to wander, they think back to last year. Wow, we really sucked. To me, that can be a powerful motivator. At some point, your physical ability takes over, but a lot of when they got beat last year on defense wasn't just because the other team was just so much more talented.
No.
It was just because Iowa was so disconnected, and there were times where I thought they rested on defense. And let's face it, Iowa has this particular group of players allows what's happening on offense to impact its defense. If they're struggling, it seems like they rest and pout down on defense. Can't do that. And how many times do we watch players turn the ball over or get it taken? First thing they do, instead of busting to get back, they look up at the rafters wondering where the call was, or Jesus. They got to get rid of that. There was a lot of that last year. A lot of this hesitation and kind of like eye rolling and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Too much of that, and part of that's a product of losing. I get it. But they're going to have to do that because I'm telling you, and I'm writing this, defense is the storyline this year. I mean, I even asked Jordan. I mean, it was kind of a rhetorical question. I'm like, defense, is it fun? I don't care what anyone says, hardly anybody enjoys playing defense as much as they do playing offense in basketball.
Not.
You just don't. You just don't. I mean, some people will tell you that they do, and some are defensive specialists or whatever. But no, defense is the storyline, because I tweeted something yesterday after Jordan told us one of the you know how Twitter is, any little statement about something spectacular happening.
Right.
Jordan shared with us yesterday that their first open gym as a team this summer, scrimmaging, freshman Joe Wieskamp dunked over Tyler Cook with authority. And Jordan's like, whoa, it kind of made a statement.
This guy's for real.
I tweeted that out, and it went viral, but one of the best responses I heard from an old buddy of mine in Des Moines was, sounds like our defense is in midseason form. And I just thought that was, and he put a smiley face on it.
Put the camera on him.
Well, you're hurting when you want to put the camera on.
Well, I just noticed because he came in late and we were talking, and
I was later than usual today because I was waiting for the call that I never got.
Yeah.
I waited till about 10 till, and I'm like, they're obviously not going to call me between 8 and 9. Well, maybe when I get home and they've got my cell phone. I'm just still waiting for the insurance company to call so I can take my car in and start getting this thing fixed. It's been a week.
Who's your insurance?
My insurance is State Farm, Chad Birch. They have nothing to do with it. I mean,
right.
This is the insurance for the other company, and it's something called Western Agriculture, which is a subsidiary of Farm Bureau. And they need to expedite this. I'm getting frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't go home for the 4th. Because I didn't want to drive a damaged car on the freeway. You can't do that. So I couldn't go home on the 4th, and that kind of pissed me off.
Don't blame you.
But back to the Hawks, hoops. And then yesterday, I mean, what else was out of there? But Cordell's weight loss and just getting a chance to talk to Joe Wieskamp, to me, those were the two biggest things. I mean, Nicholas Baer talked about being the only senior on the team, and they all talked about, hey, we gotta improve. Nobody likes what happened last year. Nobody... But they also know that they're the only ones that can fix it.
No, that's it.
They are the only ones that can fix it, and it's just a matter of every day working for a common goal, and we'll see. I mean, we shall see. And people ask me about the DJ Carton and how next season. People got to understand, next season's not going to. If DJ signs in November, next season has nothing to do with DJ Carton. DJ will be taking a leap of faith because he'll be signing with a team that went 4-14 in the Big Ten the previous year. Now, to me, I think all the players would like to think it was a temporary glitch, an aberration, a fluke, whatever you want to call it, and that they'll get back on course. So we'll see. But they won't have a chance to show that to DJ Carton before he signs, assuming he signs in November. And I still think he's going to sign in November. He's not going to wait till April. There's some people that have wondered about the Blue Bloods. So I don't think he's going to wait till April to see if Kansas or Kentucky. If they haven't offered by September, I think he will pick one of the 6.
I kind of feel the same way. Yeah.
I'm actually stunned. I haven't seen, has nobody written about him since he got home from his first 2 visits? I mean,
there hasn't been anything recently.
I'm not complaining. I mean, to me, there's been at times there's been too much written about the kid. Just stories on him every week about what he's thinking. I mean, to me, that's something. I don't think he knows right now who is his favorite school.
No, I don't think he does.
I don't think he does. Just based on what I'm hearing, I know some people will say, well, there's some people out there that always have to tell you that somebody's leading for him. And I don't think that's necessarily the case right now. I think he's sorting through everything.
And I don't think anybody knows.
No.
Anybody.
Well, if he doesn't know, nobody knows.
Oh, of course.
I mean, only he would. I mean, now if he knows, maybe a few fans. But I think he's sorting through this whole process. It sounds like. I mean, he tweeted out pictures of him in the Indiana uniform. I mean, if you don't enjoy your official visit, you got issues. And my guess he's going to enjoy his visits to all these schools. Sure. But I still say the visit to Iowa. A lot of people are hanging their hat. I don't think that's going to make or break his decision on go to Iowa. It's his official visit. I just don't.
I wouldn't see
Not when it's with a bunch of players he already knows. To me, if he goes to Iowa, it's going to be because of all the things it offers.
There shouldn't be any surprises at Iowa for DJ Carton at this point.
Not like he's going to go on his official visit. Oh, wow, these guys are even nicer than I thought. Yeah. I didn't realize these guys were this nice. I like eating with these guys. They're great. No, the official visit will just hopefully cement the commitment if that's what's going to happen. I mean, like I said, I don't have a gut feeling either. I don't have a gut feeling either way with this kid right now.
No, and I guess if Kansas, Kentucky, blah blah blah,
that could change things.
I think that
they better hurry. They better hurry though, because the longer they take, I mean, we're in July, but there's still time. People act like football's right around the corner. Yeah, in some ways it is, but we're still 2 months from. We still got on most of July and all of August. So no, there's still time. I mean, summer's not over yet. But no, I think Kansas especially, to me, would be the one that might.
Because Bill Self coached him.
But Bill Self's also the one who cut him. So I mean, from the team. So
yeah, that's true.
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, he's been to Michigan. He's been to Indiana. He has not been to Ohio State yet, right? I think that's his next visit coming up. And I don't think he's scheduled the other three, but no, I think the official to Iowa is important. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think that's going to make or break his decision like it could with these other schools.
Well, he hasn't announced a date.
No, I don't believe so. But no, I think the Iowa official's important, but I think Iowa's got other things working in its advantage if he ends up coming here. It's too bad the 4-14, the 14-19, the timing couldn't be worse, but they got to convince DJ that it was a fluke and that things will get better. I mean, so I guess you could say it works for them too. Now, let's say they have another dud of a season and he signed with Iowa in November. I mean, they'd have him, you know what I mean? Because that can work to your advantage. I don't think they're going to be as bad as they were last year. Iowa, if they're as bad as they were last year, there's a major systemic problem. Big-time problem.
Yes.
I think Fran would even admit to you then.
Yeah.
If they go 4-14 or 4-16 or 6-14 this year, I think everyone would admit there's a big problem.
And Fran will be in trouble.
Oh, without question.
Yep.
And he should be in trouble.
Yes, I
think
agree.
he would even admit to that if they had back-to-back. Here's one for you. I saw some Iowa State troll. I didn't realize how many Iowa State trolls come over, and I'm sure Iowa fans do the same, but somebody was just saying it's clear, I think they were using the Governor's Cup, that Iowa's budget compared to Iowa State's budget it dwarfs it, and yet Iowa State only finished like 2 spots behind Iowa and the Governor's, and it led to this argument that Jamie Pollard is clearly a vastly superior AD than Gary Barta. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Okay.
I think Jamie Pollard has done a great job at Iowa State. I don't have the problem with Gary Barta that some people do.
Captain?
I don't have a problem with Barta.
I don't have a real problem with Barta.
And I had one problem with Barta, and that was the West lot. And other than that,
And you voiced your opinion. He listened to it and
yeah,
basically under his breath told you to go spin, probably. Yeah. Wouldn't you say?
You're ignoring me like Murph did. but
I could see Murph with Barta and Murph ignoring Barta, couldn't you? Like Barta would be the other person in the room, wouldn't that? Ferentz would be the one guy I think would trump Murph because Murph worshipped Ferentz. Yeah. He worshipped Kirk. But no, it's an interesting discussion though. If you did a story on the two, they're different. They're very different in the way they go about their jobs. I mean, Pollard is on Twitter. He likes to provoke a little bit on Twitter.
Well, and that billboard in Cedar Rapids really pissed me off.
But if you were an Iowa State fan, you'd love it.
Probably.
And I understand as an Iowa fan why it would piss you off.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, though, is think back to Iowa in the late 70s, they get an AD in here who's going to turn things around, and one of the things, I think Iowa fans, wow, we got this, look what we did up in Ames. We put a Hawkeye thing up there. I think he did that as a rallying thing, but I also think he did it to piss.
Yeah, of course he did.
I think that's part of it. Whereas I don't think Gary Barta thinks that way. I'm not saying one's right, one's wrong. I just think they're different. Gary Barta's not on Twitter. I could not imagine Gary Barta tweeting.
No.
And Jamie Pollard's on Twitter a lot. I mean, that's
What's
they're different.
Pollard? How old's Pollard?
Well, Barta's my age, so Barta's early to mid 50s. Pollard's what? Early to mid 40s.
Yeah.
Maybe mid to late. I mean, there's probably somewhere between 6 to 10 years difference. I mean,
yeah, but still that does.
But Barta, for his age, he's a little. Barta's not big in the social media stuff.
No, and I think the other part of the discussion on this is how much stock do you put in the Directors' Cup?
Well, I don't put a lot into it because let's say Iowa just kicks butt in like 9 non-revenue sports, and they're just way up there, but they suck in football and men's basketball. The AD's gone.
Absolutely.
That's kind of how I look at this thing. And I think Gary, yes, I mean, Iowa's had a weakness for all the years I've been here. I don't know if you remember, but we used to grade at the Press Citizen.
I remember.
That was Succamel's
yes.
baby. We used to do these grades, and I'm telling you, the Iowa people, they knew it was coming. And we'd do these grades. I'd always write a column in Succamill. This was mostly Succamel's work. We'd do their performance over a 5-year span, and we'd grade these teams. And there were a lot of years, and I mean, this year I think Iowa's 10th in the Big Ten.
Where it just didn't grade out well.
I think there's some fans that say, okay, Iowa wants to, what do they win, do it right, whatever. There's some fans, okay, why can't we ever be in the top 25 in the Governor's Cup? Why do we always mostly struggle in non-revenue sports? If you're going to have all these sports and sanction all these sports and pay for them, why can't we be more competitive? I think that's a fair argument. But like I said, Gary Barta's number one concern has to be football and men's basketball, and I think that's ultimately how he's judged. Because like I said, if they win field hockey national championship, volleyball,
I hope they do. That'd be great.
That could all be great. I mean, they could win if they won a title. Okay, here's it. Baseball wins Big Ten. Let's say field hockey wins the national title and volleyball gets to the Final Four. All those three, but then football goes 2-10. What do we got?
We've got a football team that goes 2-10, and we've got a declining attendance in the football stadium.
Got a dumpster fire.
It's a problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's why I don't give the Governor's Cup a ton of merit, just because it's sort of misleading. You do say, yes, if you're going to have sports, why not be better? But the main thing is it doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things if you're not doing well in football and men's basketball.
And that's exactly right. And Gary Barta has done arguably a good job of fundraising and keeping things
he's good at that.
lubed.
Yes, he's good at that. Projects, facilities.
Yes. I mean, look at I know the $51 million from the Big Ten Network helps a lot, but it only helps if you use it properly.
True. And I think that he has sustained football in a way. I know these contracts don't help him, but that's just the way he does business. And so far, he hasn't been held hostage by his. People could say, well, Ferentz has been holding. No, he hasn't. I mean, these people that say that Ferentz has been holding Iowa hostage for the last. I mean, that's not the case at all. I mean, the contract's got some serious issues to it, but Kirk hasn't been in a position to where he's taken advantage. He hasn't had to. He wins enough to keep the Wolves off. That's the way I describe Ferentz. He's a survivor. I mean, when things start to get tense, he comes up with a 9, 10, 11 win season when he needs to. And he never goes too far below 6, really. You know what I mean?
He wins when enough. He does that, they also, it's academia. They also look at graduation.
True. There's a lot of other stuff, yes.
At,
how he represents the university. Now, Barta's biggest issue, though, is Fran better. Okay, let's say Fran falls on his face. What happens to Barta? You think he loses his job over Fran?
No.
I don't either. Some people will say, well, you're just a Pollyanna. That's ridiculous. Why would he not lose his job if 2 head basketball coaches? Now, would you trust him to hire the third one? I'm asking some hard questions.
See, I think that's a legitimate. I mean, you have to trust him. That's what his job is.
I don't want to speak.
So you either have to trust him or you have to fire him.
I don't want to speak for Feeney, my radio partner on Saturday, if he's listening. But I bet you if Fran fails, I bet you John thinks that Gary should go, and I bet you there's others that would feel that. Now, let's say Fran ends up just failing. Does that Barta ultimately pay? Because a lot of ADs don't get to hire a third men's basketball coach. I mean, that's to me that there's a lot riding on this basketball situation right now.
Yeah, and I think that Fran's going to figure it out. I think he's going to figure out how to put the puzzle together better this year than he did last year. And what am I basing that on? Just the fact that I think he didn't have a guard court last year that he could count on. And this year I think he's got more pieces.
So he could, but it depends on what figure it out is. He could go 9-11 and you're saying, wow, they kind of got it figured out. They won 5 more conference games, but 9-11 at this stage ain't going to do nothing.
No, what if
11-9 won't do.
What if he's 11-1 in the non-conference and then?
Okay, then that
put him at 20 and
he'd be probably an NIT. He'd be I mean, they're gonna have. There's not going to be many Big Ten teams getting the NCAA tournament at less than 15-5, 14-6. We've got.
No, that's true.
We've seen that the last couple of years. It's just not happening. And so
the people that say NCAA or nothing.
I don't think we're there yet. I think they have to get back to the NCAA tournament in the next 2 years.
I agree.
I think they have to avoid a losing season this year. Let's say they go 15-17 this year. And
then the Wolves will be at his door.
Oh, let's say they go 15-17. They lose their first game of the Big Ten tournament, and their conference record was like 8-12. Is he done in your opinion?
No.
You give him one more year.
Yes.
With having to make the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm with you on that one. I think that's kind of where we're at, and I think that's where most reasonable people. Now, if they get to the NIT this year but don't make the NCAA tournament, yeah, there's still issues, but to me that buys him a little bit more time.
And it's clear improvement over it's grist for the mill, where last year was kind of an aberration as opposed to
as of now, the pattern would show right now that last year was an aberration, but we need to see something now. I mean,
do.
Like I said, there's a lot riding on this basketball season. And Athlons wants my preview by 10th, by next Tuesday. They want my basketball preview.
Ridiculous.
And they haven't even paid me for football yet. Which I had to get to them in early April.
So the 10th of July.
They want my basketball preview.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, you don't even know rosters half the time. But in fairness, they say it's all publishing, advertising. I'm sure where the magazine deadlines are pretty strict. I don't know enough about them, but no.
Yeah, but how accurate can it be?
Well, it's not real accurate. I mean, there's lots of times where football, I'm always calling them the week that they're going to press. Hey, Kirk just announced this guy, stuff happens.
Well, preseason stuff in any sport is all speculation. All you have is you look at what happened last year, you look at what you got coming back, and you try to make some kind of semblance of order out of it, and you really can't.
No. As far as back to Jamie Pollard, you got to give him a slight. I mean, he did get Fred Hoiberg. Great move.
Yes,
that was an incredible. When he did it, I'm like, whoa, he's really taking a chance here. But
it work.
It worked incredibly. Steve Prohm, we'll see. I need more.
Jury is still out a little bit.
Matt Campbell looks like a great hire, but there's just this assumption now that all of a sudden Iowa State is back, and they're just going to start winning 7-9 games every year because of this guy. I'm not there yet. I need more proof.
Did Jamie Pollard lose Cale Sanderson, or was it his predecessor?
No, I think Cale's been to Penn State now about 10. I think that was that Jamie, or who was it? Was it Gene Smith before? No, who was before Jamie? No, it was Bruce Vandervelde. Wasn't Vandervelde the AD before Jamie Pollard?
Or I can't remember. It could be.
I don't remember who lost Cale Sanderson, but in fairness, there's nothing they could have done.
Oh, no, I know that, but I'm saying if it was Jamie Pollard, well, why is that not ever talked about? Maybe it wasn't him.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I would be willing to give him the benefit on that because Penn State, there's just nothing Iowa State could do. To me, losing Dan Gable to Iowa was a lot worse because back then Iowa State was the better wrestling program.
Oh, by far.
And they had everything, whereas Penn State, compared to Iowa State, resources and everything, I think that was inevitable, but no, I can't remember who that was. No, Jamie Pollard's best moves right now appear to be Matt Campbell and Fred Hoiberg.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paul Rhodes, to me, it didn't work out.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. And Pollard would have been in trouble if Campbell hadn't worked out.
Then let's say Iowa State goes 4-8 this year.
Well, then, yeah.
Then
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either, but I'm not convinced they're necessarily going to go 8-4, 9-3.
No.
But if they go 4-8, then all of a sudden maybe the little bit of the glow rubs off Matt Campbell. Then you say to yourself, wow, okay, Jamie, is this the right guy? I mean, so we'll see. I mean, there are two interesting cases, but I think it's hard to compare the two. They do their jobs differently. I think they're both effective in their own way. I think Gary gets too much grief for the Governor's Cup stuff when really in the big scheme of things, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it really doesn't matter because, like I said, he could win all those other sports. If he doesn't win in football and basketball, it's not going to matter.
No.
Coach Mike Duro from Cornell
bad news?
has passed away.
Yeah, that he's been battling cancer for
brain cancer.
He's been battling brain cancer. I mean, let Richard know that. Yeah, he was very, very popular in the wrestling community. I know he was real close to the Iowa. Yeah. That's sad. I mean, just way too. How did it say how old he was? Well, he was too young. I mean, it's just But he'd been struggling with that for a while. The community, the wrestling community, had really embraced him. Which
1955 to so
63.
Based right about your guys' age.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Wow, that's just too young.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many people not to die in their 60s lately.
I know.
You notice that? Well, you don't got much longer. You're almost out of it. Then you can breathe a sigh of relief. But think about it, though.
Oh, yeah, because it gets way better.
I've heard the 70s are the new 20s.
Yeah. You bet.
But
the 1920s, the Depression.
Have you seen Ozzy Osbourne's new show? Look, he's in his 70s, isn't he, Ozzy?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a new show out with his kid?
Yeah.
Painful. Is it painful?
I haven't watched.
I can't watch it. I couldn't watch the old Ozzy stuff.
I like the old Ozzy.
Did you like the old Ozzy stuff?
No.
My wife.
I liked Crazy Train, I guess, but
no, I'm talking about his TV show.
Oh no, good God! No.
Oh, listen.
That thing was painful. Painful.
Crap.
I'd rather watch C-SPAN.
What do you say? How many shows? I liked it when he lobbed the ham over.
I saw half of one episode, and I thought it was one of the most stupid things I've ever seen.
And I couldn't understand
a
word he said.
Well, that's Ozzy.
And I never liked his music.
Oh, I like Crazy Train.
Crazy Train.
I like So Tired. No, he had some good songs. Yeah. He had some good songs.
I'd rather hear Uriah Heep. I'd rather hear
Uriah Heep.
Uriah
had
Heep.
one song.
Let's try to get them in. I bet they'd call into the studio if we reached out to them.
Hello.
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 Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
Got a question for your Big Ten football knowledge.
Uh-oh. All right.
Who leads the Big Ten all time for most yards after a catch?
Ooh, jeez.
You mean player?
Which player leads the Big Ten? Do you have the answer, or are you relying on me for the answer?
I know the answer.
Okay, all right.
The other
Good.
day I couldn't believe
Most yards after the catch. So this would be
from Michigan State.
From Michigan State. Obviously wouldn't be Lorenzo White. Michigan State.
Wow, seriously?
Most yards after the catch.
In the 70s.
In the 70s. Was it Ron Johnson? No, he played at Michigan. Michigan State in the 70s.
Boy, I'm blanking.
I'm blanking, too. This is one of those where I may not even... give me a second. Michigan State in the 70s. So this was he a running back or a receiver?
Receiver, and he went on to play
Gene Washington? Was it Gene Washington?
No. Went on to play another sport professionally.
Oh, was it Kirk Gibson?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Really? I would never have guessed that without his help.
I heard it on TV. I didn't believe it either.
I know he was really good. I remember watching him in about 1978.
No, he was really good.
He was a big physical receiver. He was good. Wow, I would
look
never.
At him, I think of a guy like Mike Ditka for some reason.
No, Gibson, he played football with an edge. He was good, but I would never have guessed Kirk Gibson. Oh, interesting. Thanks.
Yep. Now, one more thing.
All right.
Guys,
what's
talking
that?
About Iowa State, you keep forgetting to mention they suck.
Thank you.
You know, how do you dispute that? I mean, he based that statement with a lot of facts.
Here's my problem with Iowa State.
Is it because they suck?
No, it's the fact that I will, and I've talked to you about this. I will get maybe one or two inquiries a month going, how come you never talk about Iowa State?
Because they're in Ames.
Because it's called All Hawkeye.
And we got Hawkeye fans who are listeners. Why would we do that?
No,
enough of them dislike me already.
About Iowa State.
So, and enough of them out there dislike me anyway, talking about the Hawkeyes.
If they're not bright enough to understand what All Hawkeyes.
So if we started talking Cyclones, would that impact our advertisers?
Yeah, they drop like flies.
That's what
Listen, they've come to us and wanted us to carry them because we don't have the Hawks. and they were going to pay us.
Well, yeah, but it wouldn't be worth the damage.
No,
it wouldn't.
The collateral damage.
No, it'd be worse than when we carried Notre Dame the one season.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
Would be great though. You get Murph back and have Murph call Iowa State games. Can you imagine that? Murph hated Iowa State. Murph was a Hawkeye. We got a call.
Murph was very loyal.
We got a call.
We got a call. 1600.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Hey, John.
Hi, John.
You're talking about the men's basketball. I begrudgingly sent my check in yesterday for my 2 season tickets. It was a tough one to write this year, but a sense of loyalty as a 40-plus year season ticket holder, I did it. But I'll be looking at it very closely this coming season. I sure hope, as you gentlemen have indicated, that we have some improvement shown this coming year.
Well, I admire your loyalty, and they need people like you in the stands because part of getting them back over the hump is creating an atmosphere in Carver. But I could also see, John, why you would be somewhat reluctant. It's not cheap, and the product last year was not a good year.
No, it wasn't.
And the opponents, more times than not, the opponents in November and early December at Carver leave much to be desired.
That's my biggest complaint, as I've indicated to you guys previously. And I know you had a good session on the fact that they dropped Drake and UNI, and I am totally against that. Obviously, I think that was a huge mistake from a PR perspective, and I'm disgusted with that whole prospect too.
Yeah, I just think they're better off going home and aways. I think it makes Iowa better in the long run.
Yep.
They just don't want to, and it's not just Iowa State's the same way. Let's don't just.
Oh yeah.
They just want to avoid that road trip because it's not a sure win anymore, and it's not. And for some reason, whatever happened to embracing competition.
Well, that's exactly right. It makes you better, for crying out loud. And I just, you don't get better playing these cupcakes that they've been playing. And that was shown last year.
And these players, Jordan Bohannon, we had him on a couple weeks ago. He made it obvious that he would love to be playing Drake and Northern Iowa in their arenas. He'd love to do that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The kids are competitors. They want to play the best or play, those that are more competitive. So yeah, no, a great show today, gentlemen, and I just want to put a plug for my Yankees. They're doing well so far.
I feared from the. I've been saying all year that
Whitey Ford is on fuego this year.
Well, I've been saying all year that the Yankees are, I think, a notch above everybody else because they can beat you in a 162-game schedule and they can beat you in the playoffs. And I am not a Yankees fan, John. Sorry, I'm a Cubs fan, but I don't think the Cubs could. I don't think the Cubs can compete against the Yankees in a series right now. I just think the
Yankees need one more starting pitcher,
and they'll get him. They're talking about Madison Bumgarner, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's one that's out there. Certainly, that's one of the key ones. They're talking about DeGrom from the Mets, but there's speculation they're not going to let him go.
And I love the fact the Cubs won the World Series and they had to get Chapman to do it, but to give up Gleyber Torres, oh my God!
I tell my Cubs friends, I said thank you very much for that one.
Oh, he is good. He is really good. I'd love to see a Cubs-Yankees World Series, and we always could. The Cubs are playing real well right now.
They are.
They are. I would too. That would go off the charts attendance-wise.
Oh, it would. It would be huge.
Boy, I would be torn. I am a Cubs fan, but I grew up a big Yankee fan.
I was a Yankee fan when I was.
My dad was a Yankees fan, and he used to tease my mom all the time.
Marison Mantle.
Yeah, Marison Mantle. I grew up a Mickey Mantle fan all my life. Of course, didn't know about his peculiarities off the field, but there again, that wasn't. The sports writers never talked about that back then.
No, and it was probably just as well.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
And he wasn't an evil person or anything.
No,
he just had some weaknesses.
No, he wasn't. You're right, Pat. He was thrown into a situation, a kid from Commerce, Oklahoma, and under the bright lights, and he just had a difficult time handling it. So.
Yeah. So.
He said, if I'd known I was going to live so long, I would have taken better care of myself.
That's exactly right. That's what he said.
That is what he said. Yeah. You're right.
That was a classic line for sure, Tom. Yeah.
Yep.
Gentlemen, great to
Thanks, John.
hear you again.
Thank you.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
John.
Yes, Steve.
Do you like turducken?
No comment.
Okay. Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.
That Mickey Mantle line is good, and it would work. Jim Morrison probably said the same thing, didn't he?
No.
Because he knew.
He said something like...
I'm surprised we don't have a drunken Jim Morrison who calls in, you know?
Yeah, maybe someday we will. Dare to dream.
Yeah, dare to dream now that we're on tune now.
Yeah, now don't we have a fake Dirk? Isn't there a guy?
Yeah, but he doesn't cut it.
Oh, because there are standards here. You can't.
Yeah, we got
standards. You
I
know?
was talking to some buddies the other day, and we had a somewhat spirited discussion. So I'd be interested to see what you have to say about this. But they're saying Carver Hawkeye Arena is just soulless. It's dead. They need to build a downtown arena.
No, I don't agree with that. I do agree with Carver Hawkeye Arena, but where are they going to park downtown? I mean, why do we always have to build in the most crowded areas in this? I mean, if you're gonna tear down Carver and get rid of, don't you agree you got to go out west and have it in an open area where you can just park?
I don't know if it would even be feasible, but tear down the old Capitol Mall, put a state-of-the-art arena there, smaller.
You'd have to tear down a hell of a lot more than just the old
Well,
Capitol
you
Mall.
would. Yes,
For
you
You'd have
parking,
to take down the whole.
the whole 3-block area almost.
You would have.
There would be no more downtown.
But think how it would be great for the students.
I still think if the team sucked, the students wouldn't go.
Maybe so, but think how great it would be. Go to the restaurants and then go to Carver Hawkeye Arena, or afterwards go out and have a.
I mean, I agree with you. I just don't know where it could happen.
I don't know how. I don't know if
no.
it would be feasible at all.
You'd have to tear down Jessup Hall and
No, you'd have to take. I mean, it would take a lot to do it, but it's not feasible. But
don't you agree that too much would have to be torn down to make room for it? I mean,
oh yeah, there's no. I mean,
and I don't know that there would be any support for it whatsoever. I just think it would be interesting.
Oh, it definitely would be all of that. It would,
it would be great for the atmosphere. It'd be great for the students.
I think it would definitely be that, but I also think a lot would depend on what kind of arena they build. I mean, I think Carver just was at a disadvantage from day one. I mean, the moment like I said, the first time I walked in that arena, I'm like, this is one of the strangest things
I have never liked Carver Hawkeye.
I can't believe the best seats in the house. You got to be like a triathlete to go to the restroom. You know,
no, it's not a good design.
It's just bizarre.
It's not a good design at all. But I don't.
And I say that half kiddingly, but if you're a 70-year-old person, those steps are nothing to mess with.
Yeah.
I mean, those are a ton of steps.
Well, that's one of the things we like about our seats is we only have to go up 12 rows, and our seats are great.
Mm-hmm.
But
you're up pretty high.
Yeah, we are.
Do you have a call?
Yes. Hello.
Move the track and the softball west and put the new arena there.
Well,
and that was another thing that somebody brought up, and I think that has some merit.
I think that has more merit, yes, because that is kind of like, then you could almost say the arena's on the far east side of the new west expansion if you do that.
But that's even farther from the students than it
True,
is
you're
now.
trying to figure out a way to capture the student, and you think
Yes.
by bringing the arena practically in their backyard, I can see some merit to that. I still say if the team isn't very good, students aren't going to go.
Well, and that could be. I'm looking at Nebraska as a model, and I mean you couldn't find a program with less tradition in basketball than Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
They build this new arena, and that thing's stuffed, and their teams ain't been all that.
No, but since they built the arena, they've been to the NCAA tournament, and last year's team went 13-5 in the conference. They haven't been horrible either.
No, they haven't.
I mean, Tim Miles, they've had a new coach and what have you, and but we're also talking about a school that fills up for football no matter what.
Yeah,
and I mean, I just think it's a different monster right now. I do see kind of what you're saying. I'm with Captain though. How much of downtown would you have to just level to make an arena? Because you got to get parking. Everyone can't park in a parking ramp.
I've got one more comment too.
Okay,
and
go
I'll
ahead.
get off.
Go ahead.
If you build that stadium where the softball and the track is, and then run that dang train right by there, because the tracks go right by there, and they can park out there too.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. There's a lot to be said for that, and they figured out the water issue with the flooding down there, haven't they?
Yes.
Now?
Yeah.
So no,
they've done a lot of mitigation.
I would go for that idea. To me, that seems more feasible.
No, that's
because I'm thinking to do the downtown.
Yeah, that's
thing,
feasible.
To do the downtown thing, what you're saying, obviously you can't tear down the Pennycrest, but all that stuff, the old Capitol Mall, all the way down to maybe Gilbert Street, would be leveled, wouldn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
That'd be almost every downtown.
Well, I'm not saying it would be easy. I'm just saying as far as atmosphere and as far as just changing the basketball experience and making it into more of an event like football
I agree.
No, but if you took softball and you took the track, I mean, that is feasible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, without question. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you could do that.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, it's lonely old Grandpa Dirk.
Hey, lonely old Grandpa Dirk.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh, I'm just coming out of a 2-day burgoo coma.
A burgoo.
You.
What's that?
It's
Oh,
a
you-
soup.
It's nasty.
It's,
Yes, it is.
Is it warm
Oh,
soup?
no, it's not.
it's soup that they put a lot of stuff in
Well, like
that you wouldn't think
like what? Like
that went together.
Burgoo is a pioneer era soup native to my home area of western Illinois, as well as western Kentucky. Back in the old days, pioneers
So
were
what's in
used
it?
this- Hmm?
What's in it?
Well, today it's chicken and beef, as well as lots of vegetables.
Oh, I'd like that.
It's delicious. It's golden nectar.
Okay.
People pay $18 a gallon and wait in line in their cars for blocks
It looks
all night long.
Looks like vomit.
Yes, it does.
No, it is nasty.
No two ways
as it can
around
be.
it.
It doesn't smell like vomit, does it?
No, it smells heavenly.
Okay. All right.
Its closest comparison would be an Irish stew or
I love Irish
mulligan
stew.
stew.
I love
something
mulligan
like
Stew
that.
does not look like vomit.
Not the one I've eaten.
No. Irish stew is delicious. Burgoo, I've had it.
Well,
That's just me.
I didn't have a. I thought it was fine.
you either love it or you hate it. That's what it boils down to. There's no in between. It does not look appealing.
No,
It's
no.
it's cooked in large kettles over an open wood fire for about 6-7 hours, and the heat melts everything except the corn.
Yeah, that
And-
would be a little. So it's all kind of gooey and gushy.
Yes.
Yes.
I wouldn't like that.
Yes,
I wouldn't like
it's
that.
still very popular back home where I grew up.
Got to have the crunch of that vegetable.
Well, the corn is
Okay.
the secret, I guess.
So is
for
there
the
potatoes?
crunch.
Is there potatoes in it?
Yes.
And they get all just gooey
Melted.
Gross.
Macaroni,
No,
rice,
nah,
navy
you're losing.
beans,
You're losing
tomatoes,
me. You're losing me. Someone may as well put their feet in it because I ain't.
cabbage.
Cabbage
you
is
name
fine,
it.
but when it's overcooked, it's gross. I like my cabbage to be a little crispy.
Well, I'll have to give you some. I've got a gallon.
Burgoo sounds like Burdon't to me. I'm with Suter on this one.
You know, Pat, I predict that you would like it. It's very flavorful.
Yeah, I've
very
got a
tasty.
really weird. If things don't, I've got a really weak stomach. Put it that way.
It wouldn't hurt your belly.
Well, no, I just got if something doesn't look appealing, I can't go to that next step. Lots of times.
Well,
But
it doesn't.
We'll see. But that's not why you called to talk about Burgoo, is it?
I wondered how you all are celebrating the 83rd birthday of Tenzin Gyatso.
I'm gonna have some pizza.
Is he the one? Is he the guy they killed over in Japan for doing the terrorist thing?
No, better known as the Dalai Lama,
Oh.
seventh son of the seventh son.
They killed that other guy though yesterday.
Chloe
Japan.
Groves.
They killed him.
Japan's
Big
killing him.
hitter.
Japan doesn't usually kill people.
No, first one they said in years.
Yeah.
They killed 6 of them yesterday. I
Yeah.
forgot about. But they released all that sarin gas in the.
I know.
They should be killed.
Yeah, they
Idiots.
gotta be killed.
Kill them.
They gotta be killed.
It's taking an ugly turn, Dirk.
And we're talking about the Dalai Lama.
But what about Bill
all
Haley?
All that sarin gas, and I understand that they also sold turducken.
Dirk, what about Bill Haley?
Yeah.
Yes, poor Bill Haley.
He did not end happy, did it?
No, he was an alcoholic,
Yeah.
and he had mental health issues too. And
No, it was a sad ending.
yeah, he died at age 55 in
Yeah.
1981.
Yeah, what I read, they said 55, but he just seemed so much older.
Yeah.
55. Granted, that's me in 2 years. I don't want to think that's not that old.
He was probably bipolar, but they don't know for sure.
And
just had a
okay,
lot
he
of-
had the rock around the clock. Did he
Yes.
have really much else besides that?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Oh, he
had
did?
a number
It
of
was
hits.
huge.
Okay, what else did he have?
But he was huge, but briefly.
Okay.
But he was as big as
Shake,
you could
rattle,
be
and
for a
roll.
while.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right. I remember Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Okay.
And
Rocket 88.
yep,
Okay.
he also, little known fact, was he was blind in his left eye. He had some kind of ear surgery at age 4, and they severed an optic nerve, and he
Lawsuit.
was blind the rest of his life. And
Wow.
he still overcame that, much like the Dalai Lama overcame hitting golf balls into the crevice of the Himalayas, Gunga, Galunga.
And Burgoo tries to overcome how it looks.
Well, and I think he had a hearing problem too.
Well, he may have.
Before he left, he said, "I never heard the phone ring at 1600."
The Duke of Earl turns 81 years old today.
Duke of Earl.
I loved that song when I was a
Duke
kid.
of Earl.
Who
Can
sang
you name
that?
the singer?
Who sang it?
Was it
Gene?
Hunter just said it. Gene
Gene
Chandler.
Chandler.
There you go.
Hunter.
Yeah. Well, I came up with the Gene.
You were
Native
gonna
of the south side of Chicago and a big White Sox fan, has a street named after him in his home neighborhood.
All right.
Let's see here. Who else? Robbie Robertson turned 75 years old yesterday.
Wasn't he like he was like the youngest member of the band, wasn't he? The band, they did their last show, 42 years ago?
1970.
The last waltz was 76.
He had 2 big hits in the 80s we play.
He did Broken Arrow. He did his own version of Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
Kind of painful.
He did
You mean
Showdown
the
at
Neil
Big
Young song?
Showdown at Big Sky.
I think Rod Stewart did. Who else is gonna bring you?
Oh, that song. Okay.
Broken
Arrow.
It's kinda just not a good song.
It's okay.
No.
It's
Let's
fine.
don't go there. We just agree to disagree on music. You did. I'll give you credit though. You did play Seamus. You did play a little Pink Floyd the other day, and it was killing you. It was killing you.
It sucks.
It did not suck.
No, it was just a simple blues.
Simple blues.
No,
But you allowed it to be played, and that's a step forward.
I don't care what we play.
And I heard the moment I left.
I mean, honest to God, if people like it, if it researches, well, I don't care what we play.
Well, I heard when I left, you just put Mindy Perry on quickly to kind of cleanse yourself.
Mindy Perry.
All right, stage is yours again, Dirk.
Oh, and as far as moving Carver Hawkeye Arena, I'd be all for putting it downtown, getting it out of our neighborhood. That'd be great.
Yeah, but then where would downtown go?
Hey, you're building all these skyscrapers, which everybody loves.
Yeah,
Just
the 12-story skyscraper.
put it over there across the street from the old Capitol Mall, where those apartments are now, and they want to build a new set of skyscrapers. Just build Carver Hawkeye Arena and then put a bunch of apartments above it. What the heck?
Yeah, that sounds great. I just don't think people realize how much space would be needed to build an arena with parking.
And you're talking about, I mean, you'd have to buy up private property and
Oh, it would be a complete cluster.
And it would eliminate downtown Iowa City. It would be no more. There would be no more downtown Iowa.
Well, not.
I mean, what would still be left? I'm telling you, if you built
skyscrapers.
If you built by the old Capitol Mall, though, it would go all the way down to Gilbert Street. It would have to. Then you got
so
parking.
then you lose the old Capitol Mall businesses, and you lose that
Ped Mall. You
well, you
the
lose
entire
a
Ped
lot
Mall.
of. I mean, you lose
No,
a lot of
the Ped Mall would still be
university
there.
off.
How could the Ped Mall still be there?
Because you're not.
Why wouldn't it?
Because the arena itself would be almost as big as old Capitol Mall. Then where would you park?
Put it across the street from the old Capitol Mall. Where
It
they
would
wanna...
be the arena would be bigger than the old Capitol
Oh,
Mall.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, put it across the street from the old Capitol Mall. You mean where? Which way? West or east?
Next to the music building, just west. They're going to build skyscrapers down there anyway.
Okay, then you wipe out all those
all those apartments are already going to be wiped out for the skyscraper.
But then
they're going to have.
You'd need more than
apartments
that. You'd need more space. I just don't think people realize how much space it would be. All that stuff probably would be taken out, unless
skyscrapers are now 12
I know,
stories.
since when did skyscrapers become 8 to 12-story buildings? This is life, and you've lived in Iowa City too long, Dirk. I mean, I'm not saying Des Moines. I mean, Des Moines got a building that's 40 stories. What is that? Is that a pathway to heaven? I mean, I'm with you guys. I just don't think you guys are taking into account how much space and how much would just be eliminated downtown to make this work. Because you can't build an arena downtown and have nowhere to park. People are going to bitch. The students will be fine, but nobody else. You've got to have a place to park.
And you'd have to take out the university building that goes down the hill, whatever it is.
So you're talking now about building west of Old Capitol Mall on the hill, the Burlington Street Hill. You'd have to eliminate all those journalism buildings, all that.
Yes. It just makes
You'd have to
more
eliminate
sense.
the library.
It makes more sense to push it out to the softball.
You
I
would,
mean,
but-
it's convenient. Look at all the people that park on the strip.
And Tom, you would
and
have to
walk
eliminate
to,
the library if you're going to put an arena there and parking. There'd be no room for the library. You'd have to go all the way to the river almost to make that work.
We'd have parking, the existing parking that they have behind the library and blah, blah. No, you'd have to do something about the parking, too.
I mean, I just don't see how it
You'd
could
have
be done.
Well, it might not.
You'd have homeless at the entryway begging for
I
money.
would love to know, talking to some type of architecture, how much of downtown would be eliminated if you put the arena right where the old Capitol Mall is. How much of the downtown would be eliminated? Why don't you look? Let's get an architect on, see what they can say. Would that who you talk to, or would it be some type of
Yes, it would
civil
be
engineer? Or
I would
something?
think an architect
I'd be
would be.
curious to know that.
Get an architect.
Get an architect, Dirk. Find one.
Maybe we could have fake architect call in.
Well, maybe, I really would be curious to know.
Art Vandelay.
We would pick the area. I would let Suter pick the area where he would want the arena. You pick the area, and then we'd see what that encompassed. Because obviously you have Burlington Street right in the middle. You can't. That has to be there.
Burlington Street stays right where it is.
Okay, so then you're going to have to build more toward the river because you're not
Correct.
going to have any. And I'm telling you, to do that, if you want to, you can't keep Old Capitol and the library and put an arena in there to hold 20,000 with parking.
No,
there's no
the
space.
arena would be smaller, maybe 11 or 12,000.
Okay, there still would be. I just don't see. I think Old Capitol and the library would both have to go.
Put it where that soccer field is next to the Iowa Women's Softball Stadium. If they've
Well,
mitigated the
we
flooding.
talked about that.
We talked,
yeah.
yes, that we had a caller call in and say that's, and then move those facilities out west. I think that's the most.
And
practical.
that would be much more feasible, but it doesn't.
Get the
it
students.
gets the students farther away
Yeah, it
instead
moves-
of closer.
He's trying to figure out a way to create like a game day atmosphere event like football, where students can go eat and and go right to the arena from a restaurant.
Absolutely, and
So-
and us too. I mean, me
Yeah,
too. I would.
yeah.
It'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm just amazed at how crowded downtown is right now. There's just not a lot of space down
So, I
there.
mean, I don't eat downtown before a basketball game. I eat at home, or I eat at the arena maybe. But
Oh, it would definitely help in that regard.
Yeah.
Yes, there's no denying that.
I think it's very
Oh,
intriguing.
it's a great idea.
It's a great idea. I
Yeah,
just don't
but
think it's
I
feasible.
don't think
And I think
it's
you're right.
possible.
I think you're absolutely right.
But I think it's a great idea building apartments on Mars. But right now, I don't think it's.
No, I
possible.
don't. I don't get that.
Sooner or later, there you will.
No, I will never
Yeah, you
get
will.
that. I will be dead.
Well, yeah,
They
you'll
built
be
it where
dead.
the old field house is now.
Old field house.
I don't think there's enough room because the hospital ate up too much space for any possibility
there's just
there.
There's just no room anywhere over there now. It's just. I mean, it's hard enough keeping Kinnick.
I know. That'd be like putting a miniature Kinnick in a neighborhood.
Thanks a lot.
We're gonna end on that one.
Hey, how is that coming along anyway? Are they gonna? What are they gonna do with the north end zone in that house?
I don't think they're going to have it done by the first game of the season. It looks pretty far along on the outside. They've
I
got
gotta
the
go
bricks
check it
up
out.
and everything, but the inside is far from done.
And what street's it on again?
It's on Lusk, Lusk.
Named after Paul Lusk, former Iowa guard Paul Lusk. I have to go. I've never seen it. I have to go check it out.
It really doesn't look much like Kinnick Stadium. You really got to use your imagination to envision that. But they've just recently added a carved stone block that says Little Kinnick on the front.
So will it start looking more like Kinnick as I assume as they?
They're going to put. Like mannequin figures out in front of it, saying "Fire Ferris." So they're trying to get the
ambiance.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'll let you guys go. Have
All
a
right,
happy
Dirk.
Friday. See you downtown for Annie Savage tonight at the Friday night concert.
Annie Savage.
Yeah.
Annie Savage. Good stuff.
What kind of music?
She's savage.
Rockin', kind of a cross between rock and roll and Americana.
All right, little Joan Jett.
She's a very dynamic performer. We had her at Arts Fest last
All
year.
right.
And
She
she's got a
is really
great
good.
band.
Okay.
And
It sounds like it's gonna be a beautiful night too.
Exactly. Bring your chairs. Come on down.
Richard and I will be up in Solon covering a little softball.
Well, all right
enjoy.
then.
Playoff action.
Thank you, Dirk.
All right, Dirk.
All
Thanks.
right.
Thanks everybody for listening. Actually, I can't believe we went an hour and 40 minutes, but we did.
AllHawkeyes.com. Get your subscription today.